Well, it's the end of summer 1703. On the previous video we went through Britain and they attacked one of the Barbary pirates down there. This is France's move, and it looks predictably they're coming out of Paris to attack me in their fort. They're obviously not going to like me being there. Okay. Notice down at the bottom there the gun is greyed out on the bottom right there. That means that he's not able to use that because it's fixed artillery. He will be using all the those other. You see that I'm clicking those tabs there. That's because he's got two lots of reinforcements. He's got two men going in. He's got support from those in Paris and another unit nearby as well. So they're all going to be attacking me all at the same time in that fortress. It was predictable and not a problem. It's possible to defend a fortress like this. It would have been nicer for it to be my own fortress. Of course, I'd have had firelock armed citizenry as well. With two units, I really am going to have to dance around the place all over, so that I've got everywhere covered. Remember, I've got the plug bayonets. I can put those in. The moment I put those in, my unit can no longer fire, but it also can't fire the guns on the fortress walls. You'll notice the fortress is lined with guns. If you put your men near those guns and the enemy come within firing range of the guns, your men will automatically crew the guns. They won't do it if you've got plug bayonet in there. It's only if they're on like a fire sort of mode, really, if you like, I suppose is the best way to describe it. Here's me looking around all the battlefield. I want to see where his reinforcements coming on. Remember, he's got two units attacking me, then he's got two other separate groups coming at me, and they could well be coming from different angles as well. I can only cover two areas at once. I can't split these units up. So if he attacks from three different areas at once, then I'm, to use the proverbial, screwed, I'm afraid. Anyhow, the idea is to find out where he's coming from in the main, line up along the walls there, so that when he approaches within the artillery range, we'll give fire to him. Notice down the overall map there, that round one there on the bottom left, just to the left of that you can see a gauge. The red is his forces, or are his forces, the green are mine. So that's the balance of this game. That's how many more troops he has than I have. An indication of success, of course, is when the bar starts to go up in my favour. Looking around the battlefield, nobody's near me yet. I should have speeded the game up a bit here, but the trouble is when they're coming from different angles at once and you've got to run your men round the fortress to different walls, it can tire them out, so I like to have plenty of advance notice of who's coming from where. Remember from previous videos, the idea of this, of occupying this fort, is to give me a foothold in France. I can always go out and raid various buildings that he's got and affect his economy. But what this is doing now is reducing his forces and deterring him from attacking directly Flanders. So I need time to build that up, you see, and I've got no fortress around it. It costs 4,000 to build a fortress. I haven't got those kind of resources, particularly while he's damaging buildings with his agents. So there you go, you can see my artillery is firing now. We are crewing those guns. What the game won't show you when you're in a fortress is the range. So you can't see what range you can fire your artillery at his troops. It is fairly effective, by the way, as well. You can expect a unit to be attacking a fortress to take something like 20 out of 120 casualties. So what's that? A sixth, 18% casualties, reducing them nicely. Somebody's coming close enough there for small arms fire, as you can see. Because he's going to attack probably in waves, and firearms are particularly effective from a fortress, I'm going to try and hang on as long as I can without fixing bayonets. Means that I might have to get into some hand-to-hand combat on the top of these walls here without having my fixed bayonets. Again, I will remind you the regular infantry of the French is superior to mine in terms of hand-to-hand combat. What they do, this is the first fortress action that I've shown you. What they do is they get close to the walls, and then if you were the attacking person, what you would do is point at the walls with your infantry unit and a ladder would appear. You click on that ladder where the wall is, and your men will then throw ropes over the walls, grappling hooks. Yeah, you've got no choice about kicking those grappling hooks off. They automatically come up. You can't stop them. There are some grappling hooks there you can see that have already been thrown up. His men are going to start climbing those now. You can see I've got no men there where he's coming up. I'm trying to cover too many areas at once. I'm trying to fire at these men down here, and I'm also trying to sort those out at that corner as well. I'm going to need to bring some more men across. Like I said, it is going to be a bit of a juggling act, this one. I don't set limits on my battles. I should do sometimes, particularly with sieges. You'll find out why later when you see other sieges, but I don't think it's quite such an issue with this one. There he comes over the walls. In go my I'm not sure actually they're my militia or not. They're my militia, I think. Yep. I will hover over his men, hover over my men, just to see how we're doing in terms of who's winning the melee. And sometimes I'll bring in extra troops to come and help them. At the moment I've got them on fire and combat. I don't normally choose that. Can you see how the firing is highlighted and the fighting is highlighted? That means that's because some of them that aren't in the fight can still fire over the walls. It's not as effective as having all of them on combat. You do tend to lose more men when you're asking them to do both things. And sometimes they can be in combat and trying to load. It is a tricky call, that one. Let's have a look there, pause the game. We know what's happening against the walls. We're going to see where his next troops are coming. There's one lot to the left, one lot to the right there, gradually appearing on the battlefield. Cavalry useless. The only way you can get his cavalry into this by drawing up artillery, which he's only got fixed artillery as you've seen, and battering down the walls. Or what he can do is get onto the walls and move his troops over a gateway. There are 4 gateways, one in each wall, in the middle of each wall. If he gets his troops over that, the flag over that wall will change to his flag, indicating that he's then captured that gate. Once he's captured the gate, he can move his own troops through. If you can keep him out, and it's definitely worth doing that, then you make his cavalry completely redundant. It's another reason really why I'm quite happy with limited numbers of troops to hold fortresses, because like I say, I can keep out his cavalry most of the time. Later on in the game he gets more effective artillery fire, he will batter down your walls, and then you will need an extra unit or two to defend the breaches. This is all happening on the turn end, by the way. It's the turn end of summer 1703. We're coming into winter 1704. This is France's move. Halfway through the turn end, they've attacked me during their turn, of course. Looking round again. Can the militia cope with the troops on the end there? You see they're running away, so what I want to do is get some of my men behind the cannon so we can start firing again. He's still coming over the walls though, I'm afraid, at the moment there. And we're still on firing and combat at the same time. What should be happening is should be giving a bit of small arms fire there from the side. We obviously can't reach from there. I've changed them, you notice there, to fire only, and put them to the edge of the wall so that they can fire down on the enemy. Hopefully those routing troops will get some fire as well. Anyway, that's it for now. I'll see you with the rest of this action in the next video.